So this is the new show that I like to call Facts and Fiction. Well, it's not working. Facts and Fiction. And as being Scottish myself, I thought the very first and most obvious thing I can do is got to be a bit of Scotsman. So I'm going to ask my wife here some questions.
That I don't know.
6 of them are true, 6 of them I've actually made up myself. So we'll see if she can guess it. So this is actually going to be on Rabbie Burns. So Marcella, I have I said 6 that are false about Rabbie Burns, 6 that are true, and I want to know your knowledge of the Scottish legend known as Rabbie Burns. Number 1. The town of Moggistiel, near Duridan, New Zealand, was named after Robert Burns' farm in Ayrshire. True or false?
True.
Yes, that is true. He actually has a farm in New Zealand named after his works. So well
I
done.
had that feeling because you love so much New Zealand, so I have a feeling that you have something Scottish room in there.
Question number 2. Neil Armstrong prepared for the moon flight by reading Robert Burns' Like a Rose.
True.
False! I made that up!
I thought that it could be possible.
He doesn't even have a poem called Like a Rose.
That is really nice.
Okay. Robert Burns was the first person in Scotland to be given the keys of the city of Ayrshire, his hometown, in 1785, 10 years after the publication of his first book. I'll read that again. Robert Burns was the
I think
first...
it's true.
Well, let me read that again so you can hear it right. Robert Burns was the first person in Scotland to be given the keys of the city of Ayrshire, that's his hometown, in 1785, 10 years after the publication of his first book.
I think it's true.
False! I made that up as well! Yay! Oh, you've got one right, a 3 so far, so I mean, you can still work this one out. The American President Abraham Lincoln had a lifelong admiration of the works of Robert Burns, with some claiming the poet's verse played a key role in helping Lincoln win the American Civil War to abolish slavery. Do you want me to read that again?
No, I say no. It's false.
It's true! Yes! That's genuine! Okay. No. Robert Burns was the first ever person to appear on a commemorative bottle of Coca-Cola in 2009.
No. False.
True! Yes! This is too easy.
I thought that was pretty false, and it's true.
Right, okay.
I felt like giving one of that pop quizzes.
Robert Burns was the only famous Scotsman of his century to meet a US president.
True.
False.
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was true.
Robert Burns was recognised as the most famous Scotsman of 2015.
True.
False. Oh my goodness.
No way. That's pretty bad.
Auld Lang Syne is recognised by the Guinness Book of World Records as being one of the top 3
Yes,
most
that is
popular...
true.
Okay, I'll finish reading it though. Most popular songs in the English language next to Happy Birthday and Here's the Deal, Good Fellow. Yes, that is true, so you've got 2 correct. And considering this is out of 12 questions, that's pretty bad. Robert Burns was going to move from Scotland to Jamaica but decided against it when sales of his poetry collection, poems chiefly in the Scottish dialect, also known as the Kilmarnock volume, took off. He then subsequently moved to Edinburgh and made a second edition of his poetry book.
Jamaica, I think it's false.
I'll read it again because there's a lot in this one. Robert Burns was going to move from Scotland to Jamaica. He decided against it when sales of the poetry collection, poems chiefly in the Scottish dialect, also known as Kilmarnock Volume, took off. He moved to Edinburgh instead, and a second edition of his poetry book was published.
Well, it can be true because of all that specific information, yeah?
Yes, it's true! It is actually true. Okay. Robert Burns was the first Scotsman known for his musical talent in the UK of his time.
Yes.
False.
What?
I made that up. Let's see. Robert Burns was voted the greatest Scot by viewers of STV in 2009, beating William Wallace, Sir Alexander Fleming and Robert the Bruce.
It's false.
It's true! Oh yeah! And finally, the last question. You have to get this right. You've only got 2 right out of
No, 3.
3. You've only got 3 right, so you really need to get this one to save face. Robert Burns has won 5 Emmys for his contribution to music in Scotland.
And you say that he's not a pretty good musician? No.
Yes, you're correct, it's false. I made that up. So you have managed to get 4 right out of 4 right, 8 wrong, is that right? Which isn't too bad considering most of the stuff in this I never actually knew myself. So just make sure that I've read them all. Yep. So that's not too bad at all. So the next one I'll be doing, the next episode
The
will
next
be...
one will be the opposite. I will give some facts on my country and you will help us.
Alright, okay, that's good. Stay tuned because we'll be doing a lot more of this.
Bye.
Bye!